All right, today feels even colder than yesterday. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a later start today. At this point in the project, I am making some of the main pieces for the front vent section. I mitered these yesterday. So this is the original like leg dimensions, and then I copied it using some of the skirt wood and got a decent little miter here. I wouldn't say too bad. I would kill for some kind of space heater in here. However, just thinking about it, I feel like with the amount of dust I am producing and also not collecting, having a device that sucks in air and then blows it over a red hot coil seems like a bad idea in this environment. Those are made. I have to round the edges on the one I made to match the original. Yeah, okay, gotta cut this down to size to match the other one. Doing things. I don't know how well this is showing up on the camera, but I think it turned out pretty good. Yeah, so this is gonna be the top portion of that vent area that I was talking about. Now I get to test fit it and see what it looks like. Okay, I actually had to sand it and fine tune it for like an hour straight. So now I get to test fit it. I may have made a grievous error. Okay, so the last clip, whether it was in the last video, the end of it, or the beginning of this one, I was excited for the test fit, and I had a little fine adjustment to do on those two top pieces that are gonna go over the vent. And I said, okay, I did some fine adjustment for an hour, now I can stop. Well, after that, after I thought I was done with the fine adjustment, I realized they were still off by maybe like 2 millimeters. So I took one out and using the little block plane, planed it down, and I thought I was shaving off like, I don't know, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters maybe. Come back to find I just really screwed it up. Like, look at that gap. There we go, look at that gap. That's like maybe 4 millimeters. That's a lot. And it's a lot because the glass track and the vent have to go within this breadth. I was already working in a tight space, and now I've reduced that by a lot, really. So this is not good, but we'll get through it. It's fine. I'm not a woodworker, so why can I expect to have perfect woodworker results? All right, so I was on the fine tools. I was using sandpaper and the hand plane, but now I'm back to the table saw, resizing, comparing with the side supports to see if it looks all right. I think it's, I don't know, we'll see. It's also now out of square because this side got planed down further than this side. So it's too short, it's out of plane, the angle's wrong now, and it's gonna be a tight fit for the components that I have going in there. So we're off to a little bit of a rough start today. It's 2 days after Christmas. It's warmed up a little bit since last time, but it's still cold enough that the flannel's out. Enough yapping, fixing time. Some people commented on the first one, and that was sick. It was really cool to see from people, especially people who, had been a watcher of the channel since like 8 years ago or something. That's crazy. I did not think anyone would really be sticking around this long. I was hoping someone would, but didn't necessarily think it was gonna happen. Regardless, that was awesome. Okay, I think I still can make this work. I'm going to be routing a 1/4 inch channel full thickness through this lengthwise for the vent. And I do have to make the channel for the glass tracks, but that's not full thickness, so it's not really going to hurt the structure too much. I think we might actually be good here. I'm not as screwed as I thought I was. In fact, I don't really think I'm actually screwed at all. However, I do have to rerun the right side through the table saw, and I have to rerun the left side through the table saw to get it squared up again. So extra work, but I don't think it's going to affect the quality of the finished product. So sucks for the work, but it's recoverable. Back armed with more caffeine. On a happier note, since this is going to take an extra like hour of my time here, I think last time I was in the shed, I said I was going to try to hit 2 plates for 10 on bench at my cousin's over Christmas, and I did, which I'm super stoked about. That's been like a really, really long time goal, and I hit it much sooner than I thought I would, so I'm really stoked about that. I'm sure most of you who are watching don't lift at all, but like, it's a fun milestone. Just trust that it's a fun milestone to get to. I need to re-square the small one and then take the larger one down to the same size as the small one. All right, I've got it squared. At most, I think I've got maybe 1 millimeter of play over 17 inches, which I'll probably adjust later, which is what got me in this problem in the first place, trying to be perfect about it. Except this time, I'm actually gonna check and see how much I'm taking off instead of just trusting that the shavings are thin enough blindly. What a move that was. See, this is why I got in trouble. That was all it took to take off 0.5 millimeter. No wonder I took off freaking like 4. Stellar. Okay, this takes off more than I was imagining it was. That's like over a full kerf width to take off. Just a hair over a full kerf. I don't think I'm gonna take off full kerf just to begin with, because at this point I have to be really careful with this. If I'm not really careful with this, then I have to go back, take more of that leg skirt material that, oh yeah, this stuff right in front of you. And I've really got a limited supply of that. That's the only solid walnut I have in this entire shop and this entire project. I don't want to have to buy more. It's not going to match as well. So this is important. To give you an idea of how much I'm speeding this up, usually it's by like 20 times. That last time lapse you just watched right before this was like 19 minutes and 20 seconds or something. Wow, this looks atrocious. Look at that. I'm gonna squeeze this side as hard as I can right here. Look at that gap. It's flat right here, but it's not right here. I gotta remeasure this. I might be measuring something very wrong. Maybe that's why I'm getting so much wrong with this. I hadn't even flattened it yet, like I was just saying to you. Okay, let me flatten it first before I get surprised when it's not flat. They're even now. Flattening it made them stop not being flat. If you are a woodworker and you're watching this and you have a jointer, do not forget to appreciate it. Do not forget to be grateful for what you have. They are now correct in terms of they're both the same thickness this way. However, this one is still maybe like a curve or a half curve too thick this way. So that's nice. It's actually less than half a kerf. I'm using the word kerf a lot because it makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about. Kerf is the term for the width of groove your saw blade leaves. So a full kerf would be a full thickness of your saw blade. I hope you feel in the loop, informed, and knowledgeable now. Now you can say kerf. Yeah, but we're looking like maybe half that. Maybe this is a way where you can see what I'm talking about. Do you see the sticking up right there? That is what we need to take off. I wish there was a way that you could see what I'm seeing, like actually, you know, not just like through this video, because it's kind of hard for me to emphasize how skinny this is. I was so wrong about full or half kerf. This is like a playing card's thickness, which makes me think I should use the little hand block plane. But I fell into that trap once already. Should I sand it off? If I use the table saw, if I don't have it absolutely square, I'm gonna have to recut it again, and this is not enough room to recut. All right, you may have guessed what I've done. I've put my two legs here, I've attached them onto this really flat sheet with some very hefty double-sided tape. That's another thing that I found to be extremely useful that I didn't think I would find as many uses for. Double-sided tape, buy it, fellas, if you're building anything. Or ladies, I feel like the ladies are the fellas too. Not that anyone's watching my channel. I think my demographic's like 99% male, but I know some of you personally, so hello. Okay, I gotta cut this off, and then with this little sanding block I made with that spray adhesive, then I should be good to go. This block's becoming very useful. It's 120 grit on this side, 60 grit on this side, so I'm able to eat away at some material pretty well. You know, this worked so well that I think I'm just gonna flip them around and do it on the other side and make them just perfectly symmetrical. That worked super well. All right, this is the last update for today's workday, but I'm back in here tomorrow morning, so nothing crazy. These are now identical. I have found a fantastic way to shave off tiny little bits. Basically, I've got this 1/4 inch ply on top of this 3/4 inch ply, and then I've got a screw on both ends here so I can screw this down and clamp things into it. And you can see a little divot right there, just the tiniest little little amount of wood taken off there. So what I can do is I can clamp a piece into this and then put it flush with the majority of this edge, not this little eaten out portion. And that way I can use the full kind of length of this board as a height set and then run it over top of the router with the bit just barely peeking out of the top of the table. And that allows me to consistently and accurately shave off tiny little bits from the end grain on that on those two little posts. I'm also gonna run to the store tomorrow and get some more of that double-sided tape, that LED light I've been talking about, and then one other thing. What was I gonna get? Oh yeah, a drill. My Harbor Freight drill broke. Imagine that. Anyway, until tomorrow.